any kid in the Midwest, dreaming of getting out and doing something bigger. I was going to Broadway to star alongside Michael Crawford. At the age of 3, I had given myself the stage name Christine, and I put on amazing performances of Hot-Blooded by Foreigner with my Donnie and Marie microphone. Then junior high hit. I was the chubby kid. My mom would say, "Not everyone can sing like you," every time I came home crying, because I just wanted to be able to be like the tiny cheerleader girls and do the flexed arm hang for more than 1 second. Thanks, Presidential Physical Fitness Test, for crushing any chance I had at self-esteem. Despite my success in community theater, I couldn't get cast in a single show at my school. The drama teacher came up with a short play for all of us rejects, but she eventually canceled that because she lost interest, and finally admitted that she cast the popular kids because she wanted to make sure we'd have butts in the seats. I vowed I'd send her tickets to my Broadway debut. Prairie Players Community Theater became my savior. I shined in productions like Annie, Raggedy Ann, Wizard of Oz, and Cinderella. I knew I had something, but I was awkward and unsure, and I certainly never saw myself as funny. I could sing, so maybe that was the reason I was getting parts. I threw myself into theater in college, and I thrived, playing in every show during my 4 years, but I threw it all away for a marriage, and woke up 10 years later, 50 pounds heavier, missing my dream and my craft. I got myself a treadmill, a diet, and an audition. That was my first yes and to myself in a really long time. My awakening started in a show at the Station Theater called Things You Shouldn't Say Past Midnight in 2005. It was, to that point, the scariest and best role I had ever played, topless in the opening scene. And just as that show was closing, I saw an audition notice for Zoo Improv and I got in. I wasn't very good at first, but I was watching the heavy hitters and I started learning the art of yes and. The essence of improv yes and is saying yes to whatever's offered by the other players and adding something to heighten the scene. It seems really simple, and it is, but it's difficult to overcome your fear of being wrong or looking silly or making an offer that's denied. Besides being naked, it's the most vulnerable a person can be in life and on stage. Shortly after joining Zoo, we had our first performance at Verdi Gallery, and I hadn't shown very much promise. In a prom scene, I was prompted by a card to say, "Has anyone seen my keys?" And I filled with confidence and accepted my situation. As my character, I took a deep breath and I plunged my head into the imaginary punch bowl. I emerged, covered in imaginary punch, and it was magical. My fellow players can attest, from that moment, I was free from my fear that I didn't belong in improv. I had said the biggest yes by committing to the moment, and everything changed for me about how I saw myself as a player, and all I did was embrace the scene and say yes and. Zoo Improv became my therapist, my social network, my artistic outlet, and my measuring stick. I started using yes and to listen more in scripted work and in songwriting and in my own life. I was entering new territory. I was getting divorced, becoming a single mother, and figuring out how I was supposed to justify this with my former vision of myself. It wasn't rosy or easy. Our troupe went through lots of growing pains and had to make tough decisions about how to continue. But we got stronger through bonding together despite not having a true home. We read books, we took workshops, we found spaces to perform, from greasy bars to the alleyways of CU, and now Soto Theater. We persevered. We kept booking gigs, and we founded the CU Improv Festival, going on 5 years now, and started getting a name for ourselves among troops in Chicago, Kansas City, and Minnesota. We invited teachers and improv gurus from Second City, Improv Olympic, and Chicago Improv Productions to lead us in workshops, and they came. We were excited to create a spectacle in the name of yes and. We said yes to anything we could. Corporate training, kids shows, festivals, workshops, and marketing for 40 North and Cranert Center. Through the encouragement of our mentors, Zoo incorporated into a nonprofit organization in 2009 in order to better our mission to help other groups in the area and spread the improv love. Today, we proudly display our resume as a Medal of Honor, showing that trust in ourselves led us to becoming who we are as a group and as individuals. We said a simple yes, and we became an important part of our community. During all this time, I was growing and failing in my own life as a mother, an artist, and a professional. Zoo was my safety net and my guide. I wasn't just getting better as an improviser. Learning to say yes and isn't just about heightening a scene. It's about trust and letting go of expectations. Doing an improv scene is about safety with your scene partners through courage to let yourself be accepted. It's not so much about trusting them as it is about trusting yourself, to jump in when you're needed and stay out when you're not. It's about making everyone look their very best in the scene, even if that means they're getting their nipples tweaked or they're being ridden like a horse. The best scenes come from mistakes. Isn't that how life is? Embrace it. We're all scared to accept things. We want control and hindsight ahead of time. I had a friend who saw me as a swan during my darkest time when all I could see was an ugly duckling. I felt frazzled, wanting more from my day job, wishing I was on stage more, wasting my time in bad relationships, and attempting to fill my life off stage with a lot of wine. Thank goodness for Zoo. But improv taught me that life is about facing uncertainty with the excitement of a child. All of my failures were just bumps on my unique path, and somehow I learned to be okay not knowing where that path was leading or going to end. I got to the place where I was okay seeing myself as the crazy cat lady whose kids never came to visit. It was when I finally accepted that it was okay to be me and alone that everything changed. Improv led me to meeting my best friend and my greatest cheerleader 9 years ago. It took us 7 of those years to realize that we were meant to be together, and in October I get to say the best yes when I marry him. He's one of the best improvisers I know, and I can't imagine anyone with whom I would want to travel into the unknown more than him. So take a workshop or a class, read a book by Tina Fey, or watch a video of TJ and Dave. You might not become smarter or thinner or funnier, but you might. Be okay with not knowing where it will lead you. I guarantee you'll be a lot more excited about life, and the rest will follow. Thank you.